it seems that those that advocate CRT are saying that capitalism is the evil cause, and they are assuming this disparity itself is an injustice. And I think that's just an kind of important sort of thing that lurks in the background, is the economic approach that we take and kind of pitting capitalism versus Marxism. The thing is, with the social justice conversation, it's almost like you have to know your numbers on so many different disciplines. There's prison reform, and there's incarceration and policing issues and economic issues. It's a lot.
Socialism really is trending with a lot of Christians too. And capitalism is really kind of made the scapegoat for a lot of society's issues. I would just recommend to any viewers, watch the Acton Institute, which has been doing work on this for a really, really long time. They have a great resource out there called Poverty Cure. And in Poverty Cure, they travel the world. You can look it up on YouTube. And they go into many developing world places. And they show that once you create free markets, that people are able to tap into another aspect of the Imago Dei, bearing God's image, which we're created, if you read the opening chapters of Genesis, to make something of the world. God makes the world, and then he passes the buck to us and says, now make something of the world. Be fruitful, be multiply, add to the net beauty, add to the net goodness, add to the net truth in the universe. And so Acton has done a phenomenal job in their Poverty Cure series to take you through these people from all different skin shades and all different economic statuses, to show that when you do that, when you recognize yourself as an image bearer and you have the economic freedom to be innovative, to be an entrepreneur, how people actually rise out of poverty in free market contexts all over the world. It's really, really helpful. It was a big eye opener for me because right now people assume, because capitalism, the term itself, is so dirty to a lot of people. Capitalism is the problem. Capitalism is to blame. Capitalism creates these vast disparities. That's why I prefer the term freedom, economic freedom, free markets, because history has shown us again and again, especially in the last 100 years. Let me just give some basic facts on this. According to the international bestseller called the Black Book of Communism, the quest to achieve economic equality, what Krista was calling equity just a couple minutes ago, has resulted in over 100 million casualties in the 20th century alone. 100 million casualties in the 20th century alone. Nevertheless, several studies show that support for socialism is trending high in the United States, particularly among younger generations. Those are the same generations in which 1/3 believe that more people perished under George W. Bush than under Joseph Stalin. Almost half are unfamiliar with Mao Zedong. And the 50 million victims of his plan for economic equality. And a majority don't even know the meaning of the word gulag. And so if it's truly about ending oppression, why are so many people committed to what I call social justice B, quick to fall for the rhetoric of compassion in these political visions that have led to oppression and the termination of more image bearers of God in the last century than any other system? And so we need to be able, as Christians, to state with clarity why socialism, which is, by the way, baked into the Black Lives Matter movement's founders, again, not the phrase, the organization, just this last week and a half, one of the founders said, "We are trained Marxists. We are trained Marxists. We know what we're doing," and they're trying to institute Marxist ideology. If as Christians we don't know the carnage that is unleashed in the last 100 years, and we're getting duped by that movement, then what we're calling justice is a far cry from biblical justice.